purpose of this tutorial is to walk you through the random program that you just did with Raptor, but apply it to Python code. So be sure to read the important parts of the shaded area, such as how to use random in Python, and then follow the steps very carefully. So I'm going to start down here with this basic structure for your program. All that is going on here is the skeleton code for how to start. So if we add that over to our Python, you'll have a good start. There's a loop that's going on in here coded for you, and then a call to main, and that's the only thing so far. So in step 4, in order to use the random feature of Python, you have to import random. So we'll do an import random. Now this goes at the very top of your code before main, so we can add that in there. And what that tells us is that we have the ability to use random as needed. Now in step 5, under the documentation, you're going to create your variables, one that's for end program, one that's for player 1, and one that's for player 2. And you just simply declare your variables. We haven't done a lot of this, but you just simply list the variables that you want right here, such as end program, and you set it equal to no. Do the same for player 1 and player 2. Now in step 6, what you're going to do is, under the documentation for making a call, we're going to make a call to a function called input names that will return those two. So call to input names will be here. I think my tabs are okay. And then what that's saying is you're going to eventually write a function that will return those. So inside the while loop, what you're going to do is set the winner name to no name, and the other two variables, P1 number and P2 number, to 0. And the purpose of that is that on every iteration of them playing the game, those values will be reset. Their names won't change, but these values will change, the random number and the winner's name. Now next you're going to make a call to winner name, so you'll add that in there, and then you'll make a call to display info and pass it winner name. Now in step 10, what you're going to do is you're going to code your input names function, and the only thing that's different here is that you're going to return 2 values out of this function. So this function, which would be listed here, def input names, as you'll notice in your call, it takes 2 variables, player 1 and player 2, which are their names, and then what it does is it returns those 2 values. Now inside of here, you'll have to make a call to raw input that takes in their names, but that is something you already know how to do, so I'll leave it at that. Now in the roll dice function, what you're going to do is write a header that matches what you've done in step 8, and then what you're going to do is call the random values. Now this doesn't involve anything like floor or anything, so here's our function that will get the random values. We're going to write it so that it matches our function call that you did in step 8. So that would be something like roll dice, which is the name, and then the variables that you're passing in, which are P number, P1 number, P2 number, player 1, which are their names, player 2, and then we're of course in here going to determine the winner name, so we'll add that as well. Now inside of here, you just simply call and get the 2 random numbers by calling random.randint, and then we're going to, before this function ends, is we're going to determine who the winner is. And that is done with a simple if statement. It would be if, elif, else. So we need to determine who the winner is. And this function at the end of it will return the winner name. So make sure after your if else that you code in step 12, you return winner name. Now the final steps are to display the values of your program, the winner name, and that would be done in a function down here. So again, as an overview, you'll have a couple additional variables here. You'll have initialize the variables here in one of the steps, call roll dice, call display info, and this will keep going as long as they want to. So you'll have to finish up your roll dice method by returning winner's name and then code your display info function.